What up? The Bench Buddies are back with my MLB Week 24 power rankings. Only 3 weeks left in the season. And obviously, you can see here we got AL East team moving up and AL East team moving down as the biggest movers of the week. But let's get into it. 30 through 26, your expected teams here. The only movement here, Colorado's moving up because they won 3 games where the Marlins lost 6, so they're moving down. But other than that, a lot of people are tracking the White Sox race to be the worst team ever. They got 6 road games this week. Maybe they can scrap a series win against the Angels just because they're not one of the better teams. But the Padres, I expect them to get swept. But you look at the A's, they're playing some really good baseball since the All-Star break. They could possibly be that team. Maybe they take 2 or 3 from the Yankees and let the O's right back into that postseason race for the AL East. 25 through 21. You got the Pirates, Nats, Reds, Cardinals, and Blue Jays. And I didn't really think I would have 3 NL Central teams this low at this point in the season. Cardinals, especially, bad week last week. They beat Cincinnati, big series for them there. And then they're 74 and 72. They need to go in Toronto, maybe get 2 games there. But then they get swept. And then I just think that's the story of the Cardinals season this year, but they still have a chance to make the playoffs. They just got to win pretty much almost every game from here on out. And the Blue Jays look to play spoiler in the AL East. 20 through 16. I think these are the teams that really have a chance to make the playoffs, maybe minus the Rangers here and the Giants. But hey, here we are. We got the Red Sox. They're moving up one. I didn't really see too much for them. They beat Baltimore at home. Great series win. And then you go on the road against your arch rival, the Yankees, and lose 3 or 4. It's not what you want to see from the Red Sox, because they're playing okay baseball, but really kind of staying afloat in the wild card race. Same with the Rays. Needed to win a few more there, but it's a big week for both of those teams here, especially for the Red Sox, because they're playing 6 games against possible postseason teams. Then you got the Giants, Rangers, and Cubs running out the top or bottom half of the top half, whatever, however you say that. And then you got interesting. It's interesting because DeGrom came back for the Rangers and then they still couldn't perform. Seager's done for the year. So the Rangers, you can probably chalk them up as not making the playoffs, but the Cubs still have a fighting chance with an easier schedule. 15 through 11, I think this is where you find your real playoff contenders: Mariners, Tigers, Twins. I think one of those 3 are going to get that last spot in the AL wild card. Right now it's the Tigers playing some really good baseball, but it's a big week for them. Same for the Twins, and I really think it's gonna be one of those 2 when it's all said and done. Tigers, if they can win 4 of 6 this week, doesn't matter any order, that's a good week for them because they're playing against playoff teams. And then the Twins, same thing for them. If they can go 4-3 this week, I think that's a success for them as well, just bearing the situation. Then you got the Braves and the Padres. The Padres kind of feel a little comfortable right now in the playoffs. I think they are in the driver's seat. They have an easier schedule this week. Where the Braves, they got to start figuring it out here and win some games. Ugly, ugly series against the Dodgers last week. I mean, they're playing them today too. Only split against the Nationals, but look at that schedule there. They have 3 in Cincinnati and 3 in Miami. Those could both be sweeps and be right back into this thing. 10 through 6. The other team the Braves are fighting with are the Mets, their own division. Easier schedule for the Braves than the Mets this week, that's for sure. But hey, the Mets have it all right in front of them. They just got to play some good baseball. Same with the Astros and the Royals. The Astros, they're still fighting for the AL West and for the Mariners. But, if they start slipping and the Mariners start playing good, maybe both these teams can make the playoffs. I'm not saying they will. The ALS is definitely not over. Then you have the Royals, Orioles, and Diamondbacks. And the Royals, big week for them against Detroit. If they get swept or do the sweeping, pretty much you can count them in the playoffs. And same thing for the Orioles. If they can find a way to come back and revenge Detroit at home, maybe beat them 2-1 in the series, I think the O's would be locking up their playoff hopes, just because they are the first wild card team right now. But stranger things have happened. There's still a lot of baseball to be played in these last 3 weeks. Then you got the Diamondbacks as well. They're a team that's right there in the wild card race. Probably going to win the first wild card, maybe even the division if they can catch the Dodgers, but I don't think they will. They do have an easy schedule this week. The Diamondbacks, 3 in Colorado, and then 4 in Milwaukee, which could be a tough challenge. Then you have 5 through 1, Guardians, Yankees, Brewers, Phillies, Dodgers. I think Guardians and Yankees, that's where you got to start at. Both taking care of business last week, not really having any bad series, especially the Yankees. Great to see them winning series against possible playoff teams. And then they get rewarded this week of 3 in Seattle and 3 in Oakland. Guardians, big week for them. If they can put away Minnesota, probably beat them 3-1 in a series. The division might be theirs with 2 weeks left to go. And then you look at the Brewers. I think the division's theirs. I think they're what, 10 games up on the Cubs, something like that. So they could possibly clinch the division this week. And then you have the Phillies and the Dodgers, both tied for the best record in baseball. And I think that one's going to come down to possibly the last game of the year, 162, because, they're fighting for that home field advantage. And Dodgers have a little easier schedule this week, so maybe they can take advantage of it, where the Phillies have to go on the road, face the Brewers in a tough 3-game series, and then go on the road and face the Mets in a very big series for both of those teams. So the Dodgers definitely have it right in front of them for this week only, but we'll see how that turns out. And that's going to be it for my week 24 power rankings. Check back next week. We'll only have 2 weeks of baseball left, and the playoff race will be getting hotter. But until the next time, the Bench Buddies are out.